This podcast is rated G, restricted for general under 17, requires all a parent or adult guardian.
Hey, we're doing podcast, guys.
Hello, podcasties.
Oh, are we back?
We never
Been
went
a
away,
couple weeks
TC.
for us.
That's the magic of the internet and recording
Are
in
we
the past.
back? It's been a while.
I forgot how to do
I haven't
this.
seen you guys.
Yeah, these movies
Who
supposed to
are
be
you?
good that we're watching. What are we doing
Been
here?
2 weeks.
I don't know.
I've forgotten who you were.
I don't know what asshole told us to watch it, but
I think it was you, TC.
Uh-oh.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that
we're
would make
watching
sense.
Argentina 1985. Came out the last year, 2022. It's nominated for Best Foreign Picture. It's from Argentina, as you can tell from the title. TC recommended it.
Very well reviewed.
Very well reviewed. And it's free on Amazon Prime, I think.
Yep.
Right? If you
Yep.
have that.
Yep.
And this
And
week.
if you start it up, be sure to do the non-dubbed version. I think it flows a lot better.
And it was TC's idea, and it's also his turn to review this one first. So let's,
Go, TC.
I'm sorry, guys.
Thank you for your apology.
That's all right. Let's find out what you're sorry for. Oh, just for recommending the movie? I enjoyed the movie. Such
So-
as it can be enjoyed. I didn't.
As much as
I
it could
have-
be enjoyed.
I was not sure what it was about, so that sucked. Like, I didn't know the history whatsoever.
Yeah.
Not sure that the movie gave me the rundown either. I just kind of like went along with it. I mean, the production value was okay. Acting was okay. Story was pretty good, I guess. I don't know.
Well, really
I
sort of
mean,
lukewarm.
this is
just in
exactly
general.
where I'm at. Exactly.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just like, man, this
lukewarm.
has all the right recipe, but just doesn't do it for me. I was a little bored. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah.
I was bored. There was a lot of like situations that I wasn't quite sure what was going on.
I was pretty sure someone was going to get killed or blown up.
Really?
And that didn't happen.
That's
but-
one of my biggest
yeah.
problems is they shrugged off all the threat stuff so early on. Where like the bomb threats and the
You think?
calls, it's just like, well, they don't care,
mean-
so I don't care. What's the point of all this?
I
guess so.
mean,
you thought
yeah.
that they played it low. I
It's
thought
well
that it was
put,
going to
Denny.
hit him.
Because I
That's
wanted
well
the
put.
tension, right? The fear was supposed to be there.
I mean, we're
but
talking
watching
about
it,
like
it was,
we're
I was
talking
bored.
about like, you know, some serious evil people.
Yeah.
And there was like nothing.
Yeah.
You're telling me that nothing happened.
Yeah.
On the outside.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, I didn't
strange that
know.
they-
I had to look up what the whole situation was, and then I'm not sure it came across in the story well enough for me to like follow it. I mean, I don't know if maybe I was just tuned out because I was bored, or if like I just wasn't paying attention, or what. But
I think I know the answer to that too, because I have the same problem.
Yeah.
I think it focused way too much on the lawyery type of stuff. Like,
yeah, the
if you have a
legal
story
stuff.
like this, you want to like incorporate the entire story, and they tried to kind of do that with like the
No, it was
people's
very
testimonies.
procedural.
But like, even though that was the most quote moving part of the movie, it felt so disconnected. You know, if you look at a movie like The Trials of Nuremberg, where you have like actual footage of the shit that happened intercut with a movie,
Right.
that is the way to do it. And this movie doesn't do
I
it at
know.
all.
Well, no, we saw a lot of the stuff intercut like at weird parts, and there was the TV. It didn't work right. I don't know why. That like little effect with him on the TV and stuff didn't really work.
Yeah.
Right. Another thing that wasn't there, which is in these, because this is a style of movie that we really like, or at least I have too,
No,
like whether
I
it's
don't.
All the President's
I mean,
Men.
I
Not
kind of
style.
liked it. I
No, I'm
like
saying
it.
style.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this genre where I don't know what you call it. It's like kind of a reporter or legal drama where it's like Spotlight or All
like
the President's
Spotlight or
Men.
something. But this is like
Um,
the law part. Yeah.
The idea, though, is one thing that happens within those films too is there's an uncovering of like how they're going to win it, how they're or what's going on, and you follow like some kind of plot where they discover how they're going to win the case. And I feel like that wasn't really there either. So I didn't feel like there was this like now this is how they're going to get them, and this is how they're going to do that. So that was also kind of missing too, where I didn't feel like there was a thread to follow in terms of how they decided to try the case and win the case the way they did. So it seemed to be kind of missing too.
Yeah. I don't think I quite followed most of the movie, other than the fact that he's got young lawyers and some team that no one believes in. And that should have been enough to carry on through the trial, but the trial was boring as fuck.
Yep.
Like,
The
it
final
just-
speech, I was like,
Yeah.
that was it? They're going to end
that
the
was
movie
it.
with that?
I know. I mean, really. And like, nothing really happens. Like, people just get a little annoyed. They get a little pived.
Well, some of the
Yeah.
guys went to prison.
Yeah, but it wasn't
Some of
many.
them, but then they in real life they got let out later, not too long later. I mean, so another government came in. They're like, no, we just got to, we got to.
What was
Well, I
that?
mean,
What was the final
us.
title card was like over 1,000 people since this have been tried and convicted. That's pretty good.
And
then let go immediately afterwards.
So
1,000 people tried to convict it, and then they let them go home.
You're like, you get 2 days in prison.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't get
Right. So
any of
between
that
like
in the
89
movie,
and 90, the next president, Carlos Menem, pardoned the men who had been sentenced or court-martials. Then they went back in 2003 and repealed that. And then in 2005, the Supreme Court ruled that the 86 and 87 laws shielding officers were unconstitutional. So there's some follow-up much later that then said that those pardons were unconstitutional. And so Vaidyayev, for example, his pardon was struck back down. He had to go back to jail and died in jail.
That's a rough
it was it wasn't like that was it. It kept kind of going back and forth where the country was trying to deal with it, and either through like addressing it and imprisoning the people who were at fault, or by saying, well, we need to put this all behind us, so let's just stop trying to punish and bring all this up. So anyway, it's more complicated than that. But
yeah, that's one of the problems with this movie is this could be a really good movie, because I feel like this is probably a very interesting story, right? Because most historical things that happen on this scale with this type of there's like a bunch of murder and terrible things that happen, and then justice.
And it's in front of everybody, and everybody knows it. And
it's a civilian, right? It's the civilian criminal system trying the military. The movie says that out, like this hasn't been done before. That this is sort of like the military was a fascist dictatorship. They took over. It was like a group of military leaders that then what they called a junta that was ruling, and then they did terrible things. And then now that there was a democratic government, they wanted to punish them, and they were able to be somewhat successful in making it happen. So
and that's all you learn from the movie,
right?
which I find very disappointing, because this topic, you'd think it would have a lot more depth and a lot more, at least character. Like the characters that I'm the most interested in are the ones that had the stories about what happened to them. And all you hear in the stories, it doesn't even, I'm sure they're like partially true, but all it is the most horrible thing that happened. So it seems just like a random act that it doesn't come off as realistic.
Well, and you don't get any you don't get any context.
You don't get any context.
Yeah.
It might be better if you again.
I think if you live there
if
and
you
you
live
know
in the country,
story, then you're good.
Right,
you're
there might
good.
be a whole lot of obvious things that are filled in that we don't get, in terms of.
I mean, that's what I mean, right? I didn't know the story, and I wasn't given any of that in the film. And
I wanted
that
as someone who doesn't know
what was going on.
I want to be given enough to be able to. Yeah, me too.
I'm dumb, Terrence, and
I
don't know anything.
Any of this shit happened at all. I knew zero.
And they're just like, well, you fucked.
Yeah.
You can watch it if you want. I mean, production value's okay.
No.
I really liked a lot of the character I like the character interactions.
I didn't like any of the funny parts.
I liked the wife.
I
liked
the wife. Was great.
She was funny.
I thought they were funny. It was really sort of.
I mean,
really?
she's like, you're full of shit. He's like, you're full of shit. Hey, we're going to legal shit. And then I don't know. You see how I'm just kind of okay here?
I like the style.
I
really actually like the style of it. I liked when they're sitting in there and they're like, what about that guy? Nope, super fascist. Yeah, super fascist.
So I was
funny.
like, I thought that by itself was funny, but that kind of helped it ruined the other part of the movie, because this movie is, I think the topic of this movie needs to be like serious drama, but then a lot of the scenes, it has them joking around, and it has this weird like Hachi soundtrack. It reminded me of Hachi. Seriously, it was just like Hallmark Channel.
I thought it was sort of forgivable because I feel it's like set in the 80s, and I don't feel like I think
you just think the 80s suck so bad that anything that sounds like it's from the 80s you excuse.
Well, yeah, sure. I just feel like it was a style that kind of sound was sort of, and so that to me that the style of the film sort of fits it. So the music did too.
But not just the sound of the music. Listen, John, shut up. We're still on this topic.
No.
I'm not talking about the sound of the music. I'm talking about the feeling where it gives you like, it's not a negative feeling. They have the music like tries to soften the movie. Like it tries to, make a scene seem like lighter or funnier than it should be.
It's playing a popular song. It's like playing a pop song, basically.
Well, that part I'm talking specifically about the soundtrack.
About the soundtrack. Okay.
Yeah, and that was like my biggest problem with the movie was the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And the mood that this movie goes for sometimes is lighter than it should be.
And not all the time.
Yeah.
The
I know what
pianist
you
had
mean.
that, right? You know, I mean, think about like if that had like a sort of happy sounding soundtrack going along with everything, it would have been really, really jarring. And it was sort of like, I mean, again, the scenes were so serious. It's so hard to see anything like making it not serious. But I see your point in terms of like it almost, it doesn't seem to take the subject matter as seriously. And when you have the excerpts of the people talking about their experiences with just horrendous, but that feels out of place from the rest of the tone of the movie.
Yeah.
In a way, so it's strange, right? So I can see your point there. It's like almost like it's like, hey, it's a legal drama. They're getting the young kids together. They've got some buddies. It's okay. Hey, there's some death threats, but that's all right. Maybe there's some tension.
And I wanted to compare it
okay.
to The Pianist as well, because The Pianist is similar to this, where it's kind of just like, this happened, so we're showing it to you, but it's done in a way where you feel a specific way, which is like horrible and scared. But this movie does it where you could kind of excuse it away, being like, well, this is how the legal part of it went. So it's just, it's actual.
It was like journalism.
It doesn't give you a feeling. It doesn't give you a feeling or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you look at Spotlight or All the President's Men, which had really good. All the President's Men in particular is my favorite movie of that kind of journalist. And it's not fair. This is more of a legal movie but it still treats those serious parts very seriously, even if you've got some like comedy with the buddies or whatever. In Spotlight did it too. There was
not all the time. What about when he sticks his finger through his other hand during like a very serious thing? He does this with his finger.
Oh,
to one of the war criminals. Apparently.
Right, he did that.
I don't know. It was played for laughs in the movie. I really didn't like it.
It is played for laughs in the movie, but there's a picture of him in the end of the credits where.
So
do
you think they just like
in the movie? Sorry, TC.
They kind of got scared about how much they wanted to deviate from the real thing?
No, I feel like my thought more is just I'm more along the line of what was said earlier that we're not there. We don't get it. We don't live in the country.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I would be more along the lines of that.
That's safer, John. Good job, John. Stay on the safe side.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't get it.
Like,
I didn't get it, and I didn't quite understand what the story was about because I didn't understand the backstory, and they don't really bring it to you either.
It's a very interesting story, and it certainly is the whole idea and these characters, the whole thing that unfolded and how it unfolded is really interesting. But yeah, it just.
Now you got to wonder like what people think of Americans. They're like, I don't give a fuck about Trump. Like nobody's thinking about it in like some other country, right?
No, maybe I don't know. Yeah, it might be just really tired of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the thing is, we're so inundated with it that I don't know when the movies do start coming out about this stuff, what that's going to do. Because in America, those of us that follow it's just nonstop, and we're exhausted by it. So like Trump's an idiot. Well, that's a surprise. Oh, he's a grifter. He'll do anything.
But then like he's also a con man and stealing everyone's money.
Wow, what a shocker! Like watching a movie like that would be really boring because it's like we know all this, so I don't really see what the point is.
Or like we don't know this and we just still don't care because it's not us.
Right. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know how it got best international.
No, so yeah, that too. But you can't. I kind of understand what you're saying, but at the same time, a movie needs to be self-contained. It needs to be. I know. I agree. And like you can't excuse it away by like they should have explained it enough for us to follow and enjoy the movie for it to be a good movie.
Yeah. I hear what you mean. There was no backstory that came in and actually like filled in the audience if they don't know what the story is.
Yeah. Right. Like I don't even understand how the bad guys, the military leaders, were connected with the things that happened or why they did that. Again, there's you can research.
What were the scenarios that came up that like caused this thing?
These are evil people, and we know nothing about them or what they did.
Right. We know that they can stand up in one place in a line and look angry. I knew that much. I got that much down.
They look like jerks.
Yeah, they look like jerks. Yeah. Get him. He's an ass. Right? You could see it.
And somehow they were associated with these abductions, but we don't quite understand what their justification was. There's, again, maybe if you know all the history, a lot of the blanks are filled in for you. But you're right. It should be a movie should arguably be self-contained.
At least set us up a tiny bit for ones that don't know the story to. Because
what else is this movie? If you can't set up a plot that can be followed from beginning to end without knowing any backstory, what is this movie putting on the table? Because that's all it is.
Yeah. It's journalism.
Yeah. Well,
but what else is this movie if it doesn't have that?
I think you could say like,
it's just telling us about a timeline.
It is telling you about this thing that happened. It's showing you it's like showing you some of the testimony that did occur. It's showing you at least sort
But
of.
in what
you know-
scenario is all of that stuff good if you can't get a full picture and like feel invested in what they're doing and understand it
Yeah.
completely?
It will at least get you interested in
You're
this
right.
thing that happened, if nothing else, and then you go look it up and fill
Yeah,
in the
but that's
blanks
not
if
how
you
this
don't know.
works.
Yeah, that's not what we're
It's
doing.
Something.
Yeah.
I know, but it's something. I'm telling you.
I'm
You're
not
saying,
watching
what
a
does it
2.5
do?
hour long
But
commercial
anything.
for a history book, John. God damn it.
I understand.
That's a good way to put it, though. But that's what I mean, right? It was like journalism of a period of time of something that happened without having the rest of the story come into play, which I don't understand what the real story is, because other than the things that happened, I don't quite know what was going on. I was just watching it for like things like, oh, their acting is okay, or hey, the backgrounds look cool, or that guy. I mean,
I like the first sequence, right, with the intro, the way the camera was a little bit shaky cam kind of following him as he went and did things, as he went in his door, he went up the elevator, into the car, out of the car, and there were these kind of quick cuts to it. And I like, wow, this is kind of neat. I kind of like, how are they going to play all this out in sort of a courtroom drama or whatever? But that wasn't, the rest of the film wasn't done like that as much.
Right.
So
that's a good point.
you didn't get that.
I made a note where during the trial part, they cut to like shitty camera footage like they would have in the 80s. But by the end of it, they used it so much that I was like, I don't care about this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it or anything.
I didn't hate
wasn't
it either.
mad that I watched it.
I mean, I didn't. I just don't know why it ended up being like such a.
Why did we
nominee.
watch it? Like, I wish I hadn't spent 2.5 hours
Well,
watching
that's
it.
my fault for sure.
No, it's the Academy's fault.
No.
Might be.
No, it's not just that. I mean, this movie,
influenced
again,
by the
these-
shitheads.
Yeah.
These
Sorry,
are
guys.
good actors. We've seen
You
this
know?
guy in Wild Tales, and you guys didn't like The Secrets in Their Eyes as much, but I like
No.
that one. But
I'm not a fan
again,
of his
you know,
acting. I think he
Oh,
thinks,
really?
yeah, he thinks that his resting face is like, a gift
Wait,
to
wait, wait.
everyone else.
He was
fucking
good
basks
in
in
Wild.
it.
Come on. He was good in Wild Tales. You did not complain about him in Wild Tales,
Which skit was he in Wild Tales? I'm mostly thinking of him from The Secrets in Their Eyes.
right? You hated him in Secrets in Their Eyes, but you did not hate
I
him
don't
in Wild
remember.
Tales.
I didn't like him
Either
in
one
this
of
movie.
these.
Is all I'm trying to say.
We all loved Wild Tales.
I love the fight
tried-
scene in Wild Tales. Was he in that one? I don't think he was.
Yeah, I think
Gotta
he
look
might
it
have
up.
been.
Don't remember.
I'm trying to remember exactly what he was in Wild Tales. It's been so long since we saw it.
Oh yeah, he was the he was the guy.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the guy.
Yeah.
The guy-
That makes sense. He
He
was
had,
the
he
guy.
had the job. The guy
Uh-huh.
with the job. I don't know.
Yeah, he was some guy. Wasn't the one getting married, but he was in the movie.
Yeah, the marriage one was good.
Well, I
The
got-
fight scene was good. And I think he was in the least good one. I'm pretty sure.
Well, don't know, don't care. So that's good.
Mhm.
Moving on. I'm sorry that I brought this one up. I kind of hoped it would
It's
be good
not your
because it
fault.
got
Stop
nominated to
apologizing.
be the fucking best international
Could
film.
be a bad year for movies. That's,
Yeah, it made sense.
Oh, you think?
No.
I don't know. Could be.
It did win the Golden Globe, right? So it won the Golden Globe for.
Is it just for his acting? So he's the star, and that's why they nominated it.
No, I
No
think
idea.
it's again.
No idea.
It's sort of a. It's
It honestly could be
It's a
just a
news-
bad
news
year for
story.
movies. I don't know.
Well, no, it's also
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. It coming from Argentina, it's kind of like the.
It's the new area too. It's like the
It's
hot,
like last
hot
year we had
spot.
Yak in the classroom. The idea that it was coming from an area that wasn't putting out a lot of stuff or something. Although Argentina, I'm sure. I don't know.
That one was at least
Argentina's on
unique.
the
This
up and
one just,
Yeah.
we watched this 2 weeks ago. I had to like go back and read a couple synopsis and read my notes and shit because like this is really fucking forgettable.
It's
Because
unremarkable.
None of it is
and, yeah,
original.
forgettable.
None of the acting is outstanding. None of the dialogue is outstanding. The storyline is like, I'll kind of remember that there was like a bunch of dictatorships throughout the 1900s in Argentina that
So,
were
I mean, in a
like
way-
overturned in the 80s. Like that I'll remember.
In,
but,
in
like,
a way,
that's not
you're
very much.
almost saying that like this movie does that story a disservice.
It absolutely does. Yeah, that's the worst part about it because I feel like any story, like we've watched a lot of really good historical dramas, like The Downfall or the one you mentioned just now, John, the one about Deep Throat and all that stuff.
Right.
Just
All
any
the
of like
President's Men,
Trials of Nuremberg,
Pianist,
specifically for a trial
Trials
one.
of Nuremberg. Yep.
This one could have been a lot better, and I can't imagine this one sticking around for any period of time and it's not going to have anyone talking about it in a couple of years.
I mean,
Yeah,
we've
yeah,
seen
I
some of
would
the top
tend to-
Argentinian
Even though
films,
it's
too,
got like a
so
95
Wild
on
Tales
Rotten
and-
Tomatoes and a 96 on the critics.
I think it's
like-
probably because if you review it, it's not terrible, and it like gives a window into a period of time that you might not know about.
Right. You
So
appreciate the historical facts.
If my job was
a
a
really
reviewer,
interesting thing that happened.
I would give
You
this a
tread
positive
lightly
review.
on this?
Yeah, I
You
would.
tread lightly.
Yeah. I think that's what is happening.
Hey guys, look, the topic is genocide and other shit. We don't even want to fuck with this, okay?
Yeah.
We need to
Right.
let
It's just
this
good-
go.
it's good that
Why? It's a
people are making a movie
95.
about
Good
it,
job,
and-
guys. Good job. It's good stuff. Yeah. No, these people are terrible people, okay? We're just going to let this one have.
If
they're
we
gonna
give it a
have this
negative
one.
review,
Yeah.
they're going to think that we agree with the dictator people. That's what happens these days.
Right,
Not something we want to do these days.
No,
Got
you
enough of
can't
that.
you can't even say something like, anyways, not gonna
Anything.
say it. So
You
you
can't
can't
say
even say it.
anything.
Yeah, I know now enough not to say it.
Do you? Well, we'll see. You'll say
I mean,
something.
I just got myself.
No,
I just
I
caught
still
myself.
edit you
in
week
this
to
one.
week, TC. Every
At
week,
least
something.
At least I caught myself. It's progress, not perfection, Denny.
Life is a learning experience. So I don't know how much more we got on this. My trivia is that this movie is mostly true. How about that? Isn't that nice?
Okay, great trivia.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna be a quick one, boys. We're out there. We're gonna enjoy
That's
the rest
fine.
of our fucking Wednesday.
So there's
Yeah.
4 other movies nominated for Best Foreign Picture. 3 of them are not available right now, which is a bummer.
Oh.
But one of them has 9 Oscar nominations, and it's free on Netflix. All
Oh, yeah? What
Quiet
is
on
it?
the Western Front.
Oh
right.
yeah.
That's a foreign film?
Ooh,
Yeah, German
we're
movie.
watching that.
German, no.
I
I
watched it.
don't know.
But you
I
watched
already
it.
watched it. I already watched
Should
it.
we watch it?
Yeah.
We should watch it.
If you want to see some shit blowing up and some people blowing up,
Well, yeah, it's not a happy film. Not a happy
It's
film.
a Saving Private
actually.
Ryan type of thing.
oh yeah.
Shit.
I'm down. I want to watch a good movie.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Okay.
I thought it was awesome. Yeah.
It's a.
But I already just failed this week, so it's 2 for
Stop
2. You never
blaming
know.
yourself.
Hey, if you had
man,
watched
unless
this
you're-
first
unless
before
you-
recommending it, you wouldn't
unless
have
you're
recommended
enjoying it, TC, and then I'm just
That's
going to let
true.
you keep going.
If
'cause
I
you
had
won't
watched this
stop.
first, I would never have recommended.
Well, yeah, but it's fine. It's fine.
I'm on, for your honor. I'm on the record.
So this is going to be on record one of the shortest episodes that we've had. Look at that.
There's literally nothing else to
It's
talk
probably
about.
not
no.
the shortest stuff.
No, we have like
Oh,
a
shit,
10-minute
man.
long episode that'll probably never be broken.
I mean, hey, it's a good transition into something else,
Yeah.
It's like a nice little start to your day, a little wakey,
Yeah.
Mission 250, and then, shitting on a movie.
Yeah.
Not really.
We don't do this
You
very
know,
often,
silly.
so you know when we do it, we mean it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even shitting on it. That's kind of weird. What's weird is it's just sort of like
It's disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
Right? 'Cause
I
we
wanna
watch-
do
call it
better,
that.
but yeah. I'm not like this. I'm not mad at it either. So it's
I also think
I'm
if we
not
watch,
mad at it,
if we
no.
watch, speaking of like being a real reviewer, they have to watch all the other movies, and most of them are shitty. So then, like, if you watch this one, maybe it's a lot better. But all we do on this podcast is watch like the best movies ever made. So then we're comparing
Right.
this movie to like,
To those
Terminator
movies.
2 is on the horizon. Like, how are you going to do that? Come on.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
just watched The Departed. We got Terminator 2 up next.
And then we got this.
And we complain about The Departed too, even though it's like, in the
Even
40s
though
and the
it's
best. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. We don't like shit. No, that's just me. Yeah. John, he's a good
He
guy.
tries. John tries to be
yeah,
positive
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
He tries.
Yeah, he
all
tries.
the time.
He
That's
tries.
me.
All right. Well, on that note.
So we're gonna watch
All
the war one on Netflix. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we are. I'm
Okay.
gonna watch it again. Fuck, it's a tough movie, but I'll watch it again.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You excited, John? You gotta have to put on headphones.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna put on headphones because it's loud as fuck,
Okay.
and you don't want to let the kids hear all this.
Oh,
It's a
Daniel
lot of
Bruhl's
screaming and
Bruhl's
yelling.
yeah, we got Daniel Bruhl. That gets me excited.
Ooh, your boyfriend.
He's
Yeah.
the star. I love
John's in.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Who does not like Daniel? Come on, you guys love Daniel too. Come on. You
Yeah, I
love
do.
Daniel,
He's good.
right?
No,
He's
you already
good.
admitted to liking him. When we were watching that race car movie or whatever it was.
Yeah, I loved. What is it called? Rush. What was it?
Rush. Yeah.
Good. It's a good movie.
It's good. That's a good movie. I'm not
That's
saying
a
it's a
movie.
bad thing,
He's
John.
good.
I'm just this is
Yeah.
the reason you are now hopping on board of watching this apparently very violent
It
movie.
is.
that you
Oh,
have
yeah,
to-
wait till you see this
Violent.
fucking
Well,
thing.
it's sad. This is not a happy story. I know
No,
that.
it isn't, boys.
What, World War One?
So,
Not a good story?
You're telling
Yeah,
me
not
that
a good
people
time.
just going at it and dying and
In
stabbing
mud?
each other wasn't good?
We're not gonna have some happy fun times in World War One.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
wasn't a good time.
Oh, I'll
Well,
trust you. We'll see though.
I'll
Go
trust
over there,
your
have some
instincts on this.
beers, kick some early Nazis. No,
Early.
Yeah, I mean,
huh?
you guys are going to be in
Proto-Nazis.
for. There's some good stuff in this. There's some really tough stuff. So enjoy.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it again.
Sweet. Let's do that.
All right.
Talk to you guys next
See
week.
you later.
see you guys.
Stop 'em. Thank you.